Hey guys, Harv here, and welcome back to the Kerbal space program. In this episode, we have a one-off mission. A mission not necessarily to another planet or to another celestial body at all. In today's episode, I want to try and design a new launch stage. Here's what I said at the start of a video called Spacier Launch System, where I designed a new launch stage, and that is the launch stage that, if you have seen my previous videos, you are probably quite familiar with. Oh, you know what, I don't have... we'll go into space tourism then. It is the SLS, and we are currently using the SLS Mark II, or we are not, in actual fact. I haven't used it in quite a while, because with the advance of the NASA parts, and they're now available to us to use, it seems like a bit of a waste to carry on using 2-meter diameter parts. In fact, if we have the SLS Mark II, let's take a look at it quickly before we start. This will be a live commentary designing episode spent primarily in the vehicle assembly building. Where's my SLS Mark II? Or is it simply subassembly? It might just be subassembly. Let's pull out a cockpit, subassemblies, Spacier Launch Stage 2. The original video is called the Spacier Launch System. I wonder why it's called the launch stage now. Probably because it is a launch stage, I suppose. Here it is in all its glory. Now, what we actually designed in that video was simply this inner core, and then we added, I believe, the changes. This was all a very long time ago, you know. I believe the changes were this fuel tank here, on either side, and the addition of these boosters. That may have been it. And yes, it uses asparagus staging, which I kind of renounced recently, but we'll play around, we'll see how things go, and hopefully we'll build the Spacier Launch Stage. I guess it's gonna have to be 3 then. I was going to call it version 2, but no, we'll call it the Spacier Launch Stage 3, or Launch System 3. Because that's what I'd like to do. Now, it needs to have an operating capacity of at least 100 tons. It needs to be able to lift at least 100 tons to orbit, because that is what the SLS-2 was able to do. Or nearly able. It was probably more like 98 tons, but hey, what's 2 tons between friends, right? So, with that in mind, I guess we get building. Now, I may... Actually, no, it's simply going to be the launch stage. This is simply to design a launch stage. Nothing more, nothing less. So let's just get right into that, and we just have a command module here for some unknown reason. Right, we need size 3 parts, big size 3 tanks. We also want to include a bit of advanced capability, so we're going to have... That doesn't quite fit in with the whole 3-meter diameter thing, does it now? Everything that I was literally just going on about. Where am I going to put advanced SAS? Because I want it to have it. I mean, we could use adapters and put it on here, but then that would force us into using Mark II parts to put on this thing. I want to be able to put Mark III parts on it. Okay, no advanced SAS then. We might be able to attach it on the side or something stupid like that. Okay. Simply the launch stage. Well, okay, how about we try and build what we just had? And see how well that performs. That would be a very good test. A simple upscaling from memory. So it was, I believe it was 3... No, it wasn't. Was it? Yeah, it was an orange tank and then there was 2... half tanks on top and bottom, so it was 3 in the main central stack. And I really wish we had bigger decouplers than these, because we need them for these massive parts. Then we had 2 times symmetry throughout, because we did the asparagus staging. And the first stage to drop off, let's move that a bit higher. The first stage to drop off is this one, which has no engines on it. It's merely drop tanks, fuel, extra fuel. And it had 3 and a bit. I'm not sure about this. Oh, hang on, we can just check right here, can't we? Right, Spacier Launch Stage 2. It had 1, 2, 3 and a bit. Yes, it did. I wonder if the scale is kept the same. If we build exactly the same thing using the you know, the next generation of parts in the same place. That's exactly what we're going to do. I want to know if that works. Okay, and that one did not have any extra things. It merely had another half tank underneath. God, half tank, it looks so big now. It's grown since I last saw it. Okay, there we have it. See, you can see this advanced SAS just over there. You can't, because you can't see my mouse cursor, but hey-ho, whatever the case. Right, we're also going to want to replace that with a big... Thank you, Laurie, for your input. With a big decoupler. Okay, lift this up a little bit. Right, that is the first stage, essentially. Now we simply have to strut it. Do some strutting around in order to make sure it doesn't wobble. About there. I'm not sure. Is that right? Yes, that is right. Okay. And we have struts at the bottom and strut at the top. Strut. Pronounce my T's. I'm supposed to be good at talking, aren't I? Not after doing several hours of live streaming, I'm not. There we go. That, at its very simplest form, are our drop tanks. I guess this could also be used as a sort of tutorial, couldn't it now? A tutorial on how not to build launch stages. On how to build launch stages. How to build launch stages. Be confident, Harvey. Be confident. Okay, there we have it. That is very simple attachment. And yeah, that's probably all we actually need. Especially from this first pair. So now we mirror this around. Excuse me. Very unprofessional of me. I probably should have muted the mic quickly, although I can't actually do that. My mic doesn't have a button I can just press to mute it, which is something I miss about my old mic. However, what I don't miss is all the background noise and the rather tinny input sound. Okay, here we go. So that's going to be there, and then we have... I guess we should rotate these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Useful tip, 9 rotations is a 45-degree angle. You hold Alt, isn't it? Yeah, you hold... No, it's not Alt. Hold Shift. You hold Shift, and then you can do smaller increments. I usually don't deign to give people that kind of information, because I've already said it several times before, but now I realise that because I don't give it out, it's been ages since I said that. And hey, it's relevant in this version, in this video, even. Okay, so what we have now is fuel flowing from these tanks. Is that right? Fuel doesn't flow into the center, fuel flows only into the next tank because this is asparagus staging, so we don't need that. It flows into there. Did they... I'm forgetting how I built my own launch stage now. Yes, that carries on by itself afterwards, doesn't it now? Yeah, that might be a problem because I know this engine can't lift 3 of these tanks, whereas that evidently can. That's 4! That's 4 tanks there, not 3. Wow. Wow, that is a big stage. Okay. Let's... we're not going to go for 4 tanks. 4 tanks just won't work, plain and simple. We're going to go for 2.5, I think. We'll scale... 4 tanks is going to be equivalent to 2.5, apparently. Let's see whether that's actually the case. I have a feeling it won't function anything like this one over here by the time we are done. Oh well. Take those and replace them with these. With some struts in the middle. Oh, you never know, we might be high enough by the time the outer engines drop off that we won't need the major acceleration. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Ah, that's for... Oh, it's fine, don't worry about it. I'm sure it'll function absolutely fine. Struts between them for stability. Just like so. And that... Is that really it? No, we need struts at the top as well. Strut there, and strut there. Excellent. Final pair. It's just about there. Final pair goes just about there. I'm a poet, and I never knew it. Finishes off with something that doesn't rhyme. Poet and I never know it. I didn't know it, I believe. Never knew it. That's probably funnier to me than it really ought to be. Hey, I'm a poet and I never knew it. God, I'm cursed. Everything I say ends up being a rhyme, and then as soon as I try to actually rhyme, it doesn't work. What a horrible, horrible curse. There we have it. We have tanks and struts. And that's the basic version, isn't it? I think we'll test just this. After putting the fuel lines in, obviously, because we haven't quite finished on that front. Okay, to the top. Oh, we've already done that. And fuel, feeding in from here. I know exactly what I'm going to do in the event this doesn't work, but you never know, it might work. There is a chance, a very slim chance, but there is a chance. And we must not give up on hope. Another strut here. 2 actually, because I believe struts and fuel lines actually weigh the same, don't they? Struts weigh 0.05 tons, and fuel lines weigh 0.05, yes. So to keep things equal, we can use 2 struts on the one where there are no fuel lines. And the final fuel line pair from that tank into the center. Like so. Wow, at its very basic functionality, that ought to be it. We can get rid of this. Yeah, I guess we can just test that. Entirely liquid fuel engines with very generic asparagus staging, I suppose. Okay, all engines fire, and then the first to drop off are simply the tanks, which are this decoupler and this decoupler. Then the next pair to drop off are this pair, and we are left with that pair, and then finally the decoupler right at the top here, which somehow doesn't quite work. I'm sorry, my I would say OCD, but I've taken to not calling it OCD anymore. My nature as a person who plays space games says that I can't just have it going from 3 meters to 2 meters without warning. We need an adapter. I'm not going to bother sealing off those though. There we go. This is SLS 3 prototype with our Union Jeb flag. Ah, balls. I think we might be able to... yeah, there we go. Just better check everything's actually how it should be. Yep, it looks fine. Okay, saving and launching. No, not launching. We haven't got launch lamps. Oh dear, we haven't got launch lamps, which means that it's probably going to crush the engines as soon as we load onto the pad. Oh well, just cross my arms. It'll be fun to watch, right? Oh, also we have improved chase cam on. No thanks. I installed a mod called improved chase cam, and it hasn't really improved matters. Don't crash. Ooh, it's alive. Ah, it's balancing on one engine? It's only balancing on that central engine. How on earth is that not broken? Let's do some time acceleration. To daytime. Good lord, that is rather crazy. And turn it off. Chase cam, there we go. Wow, okay, right. Okay then. First test. We have no energy generation, do we? Oh well. First test in 3... oh, we have engines, that's fine. 3, 2, 1, lift off! Yeah, I suspected as much. I don't know about you, but I don't think this is going to lift 100 tons to orbit. I'm just going to let this rise for a little bit and do some talking. Now, I think the problem is definitely in the scale then. My initial suspicion was that I'd be able to scale it up and it would work. And have a scaled up payload as a result, I suppose. But no, they don't seem to scale. These big 3-meter tanks do not have the same thrust-to-weight ratio when coupled with this strongest of engines as even for 2-meter tanks and the strongest 2-meter engine. It just doesn't quite have the same capacity. At least it's draining fuel very slowly. I guess that's the thing. It's more efficient, I suppose. A lower thrust-to-weight ratio, perhaps. But I'm pretty sure that the other stage would have burnt out all the first tanks by now, with this duration of burning. Alright, let's just speed things up. We're going to check the staging, so drop that. And we get an extra boost of acceleration. So it can lift it can definitely lift itself. At least it could lift itself, you know. That's fine and everything, we just have to scale back the fuel capacity. Actually no. I know what I'm going to do, but but that will be as a result of this testing we're about to do now. So, I'm going to cut the engines, drop, and fuel full throttle. Can it lift itself? It can. And it can barely lift itself with 3 engines. I wonder, how will it function with only 1 engine? Okay, we're high enough that it actually does accelerate and it's at a reasonable speed. My intention was to keep those 3 as 1 stage. And I think I still will do that. Because when we're lifting heavy payloads, I don't think this engine by itself is going to be sufficient. And now we're down to the command pod. Okay then, back to the vehicle assembly building. No time to hang around and watch this thing crash. We need to scale it down, tone back our thinking somewhat. And add launch clamps. Alright, I'm going to take off. Yeah, let's take off all these to begin with. I think we're going to add some extra support as well on the side. Really, only 2 tanks high? 2 tanks doesn't seem enough. Alright, well, we'll add some launch lamps and then we'll do some testing. Testing, testing, testing. Always testing. This is the nature of space programs. Okay. When you talk about the Kerbal space program, though, it's more of an optional thing, really, rather than a requirement. And the struts that we lost will be replaced. Like so. And there we have basic functionality. Oh, no, wait, we don't. We don't have anything to the center. That's highly important. There. And finally, there. Bit haphazard, but the staging is not correct. We need to change these to launch with the engines. Then it's that tank, that tank, that tank. Yeah. Thank you, cars outside. Wasn't like I was saying anything. Okay. Right, so now that we've reduced it to only a mere 2 stacks high, not 2 stacks, 2 tanks high, that's the word, we can observe the acceleration we gain. If we gain any. See, now it was rock solid when it was balancing on its own engine. But as soon as we add launch clamps, oh no, it starts wobbling about all over the place. Alright, it seems to be okay now. Launching in 3, 2, 1, liftoff. Well, I say we don't have time to hang around and watch things crash, but come on. It's actually still flying. The command pod's still intact. Hang on, this is beautiful. You can just see land. Oh, I wonder why the tank's so close. Hey Bob, do you know what that sudden jolt was? No, I don't know, mate. I'm sorry. I want to see where this thing goes. I'm sorry. This is more for my own amusement than yours. It's kind of just hovering. It is rising. It's rising at about 14 meters per second upwards. It's going significantly faster sideways, and it's tilting over. Let's use time acceleration. Physics warp. 4 times! And it's still attached. Well, not even attached, it's just sitting there. Probes, that's what we need to add. We need to have independent control for situations like this. Remind me to add a probe body onto that central part. Let's see, what does it look like now? Not an awful lot. Oh! Oh, is that land in front of us? I swear it was supposed to be space in front of us, Bob. What's going on? I can see the land and it's getting closer. Huh. So what exactly was the problem? Launch slamp 1. Oh, we hit the launch clamps. Screw it, no launch clamps then. No launch clamps. Fine. Game. Have it your way. We won't have launch clamps. All they did was make us bounce around. Look like fools. I cast you off back into the particle selector. Alright. Even so, the acceleration still wasn't high enough. Okay, I'm not going to reduce... I refuse to reduce the fuel quantity anymore. So, here come the solid rocket boosters. What did you expect? Alright. Here come the robots. Here come the robots, yeah, yeah. Oh god. That got into my head so much after doing the Mirror's Edge live stream. I was listening to a Monster Cats playlist. That's all it consisted of. Okay, right. Nice snazzy long burning, I might add. Nice snazzy long burning boosters. That, yeah, that seems to be the nature of this pack, doesn't it? The NASA parts. They are all very long burning. Interesting. That may be something to consider when building things in the future. So, yeah, but the NASA part, in real life, NASA parts have an amazing thrust away ratio. It's got to be better. Oh no, it might not be better than Kerbal engineering actually. We don't really have a reference, do we? It's Kerbal engineering. It's made up. We don't know whether... I should probably do that. I should look into whether the thrust to weight is equivalent or so. Okay, not only are we going to do that, we are also going to add on... We're going to make this thing a bit wider. We're going to add on... If I can find it. Outside parts. Namely these. Not because they are good or anything, just because they give us the flag. And we want to see the flag, don't we? We've got to see the flag. I particularly like how the flag looked on the boosters. Okay, enough of my rambling. Come on. Come on, Harvey. Put your back into it. There. Just a simple addition to a simple launch stage. With nose cones. Come on, we've got to have nose cones. They actually aren't useful at all because KSP doesn't simulate aerodynamics quite to the degree that it perhaps ought to. No, we don't need big wiglets. Don't be silly, Harvey. Just little diddy ones on the side will be sufficient for us. Wow, this thing looks like it would have serious punching power, but it really kind of doesn't. I want to add 3 of them on. I don't want to add 6, but I want to add more than 2, perhaps 4. I could put 4 by putting them there. That kind of goes against my nature. Oh no, okay, we can do it, it's fine. Yep, we can do that. So it's going to be 2 there. And if we can try and match the height, that would be good. No sense going small, we might as well go all out now that we've done our first test and determined that the whole staging thing doesn't quite live up to what we'd expected. There. There we go. Alright. Now to add struts between them and to sort out some fuel lines. Struts there and struts here. Where are our fuel lines? There we go. Okay, so... Oh, we haven't put struts up there. We'll do that afterwards. We'll do that afterwards. Where do we want the fuel to drain to? If we those are the drop-off pods. Okay. This makes it a bit more difficult, doesn't it? Those are the drop-off pods. So, in ideal asparagus staging, we ought to be draining into them. However, that isn't quite going to happen, so... It might not matter if... We'll do shared capacity. This is a technique that I don't really see many people do, but I've done it before and it works. We have fuel flowing outwards at the same rate the fuel flows inwards. Shared capacity. And are we going to do that? Because that begs the question now what we do for this one. Because that drops and then this drops. And in this system, that and that will drop at the same time. Which is going to be a major reduction in thrust all of a sudden. Well, you know what I said about testing being an important part of a space program? It's going to be really weird. We could do shared capacity between all three of these. That'll be an even bigger reduction in thrust. Oh man. This is really rather awkward, isn't it? Okay, yes, we'll do that. And then we'll make the changes that I said about not having a single engine pushing the rest of the mission. There we go. Rather haphazardly done, but done nonetheless. Now we just need some struts. There to there. And we'll have to pay particular attention to our staging to make sure it goes right. And also to our fuel draining during the flight. Not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it. I'm a poet and I didn't know it. Yeah, I got it right that time. Okay, so this time we get rid of fuel draining. No, we don't. We do shared capacity again, I think. Yeah. What is it with shared capacity today? That's just the name I gave it. It's not a proper name or anything. So don't go around calling it that. But hey. It seems to be apt. There'll be an equal amount of... Basically they'll take... Yeah, they'll be shared. The capacity of these tanks will be shared. Not just these tanks either, the entire stack. Due to how the part system works. Okay. There we have it, ladies and gentlemen. A bit of a great big massive launch stage. I'm really worried for this single engine here. That is taking way too much weight. Oh well, never mind. All engines burn immediately. Like so. Okay, the first to drop off will undoubtedly be this tank here, so we'll have to go through and look through all our staging again. That one is the first to go. Second will be this. And the detaching of that will cause the detaching of this. But it won't cause the detaching of this. We'll have to do that manually. At the same time. But before they are done, we'll probably see that these boosters will have run out. You'd think that, but it might actually not be the case. Because those boosters, as we've said, do burn for an awfully long time. But we'll build with that in mind, nonetheless. There we go. And finally would be these decouplers, but we're not actually going to decouple them because they are going to work at the same time as the middle stack. And there we have it, ladies and gentlemen, a craft that is sure to compress its central engine to a pulp as soon as physics loads. I'll make a bet with you. Right now, decide whether you think it'll survive or not. Whether it'll be able to balance on a single cluster engine. The entire mass of this, I think not. Though I'm thinking based on common sense, and this is the Kerbal space program, where common sense is perhaps not the... Oh my god, it actually did it. Also, I missed out several struts here, but oh well. It's actually balancing. That is ridiculous. Well, you win the bet, because I'm presuming that's what you thought it would do. Alright. No, not physics warp. No, that's the last thing we want. No, oh. See, I win the bet. It was my own stupid incompetence that caused it. But hey, I win. So you can suck it. Okay. Now it's time for a launch. Let me just get comfortable in my chair. Whew. Okay. Right. Time acceleration. Get some daylight. About there. Launching in 3, 2... Oh god. 1. Lift off. There's the acceleration. That convinces me that it'll be able to lift over 100 tons, and it really ought to be able to lift a lot more than that. If we're going to make the effort to use such big unwieldy parts, we want to get some return from it. The acceleration is beautiful. I'm not going to do any throttle control, I'm just going to let it burn at max capacity. And pay attention to the fuel draining. Okay, the ones that are draining the fastest are actually the solid rocket boosters. Wow, these really are long burning parts, aren't they? They really are. Even though we've burnt a lot of fuel, what's our mass? Still in the thousands of tons. Yeah, this thing ought to be able to lift a lot more than 100 tons. Oh, there goes more lorries. It's a real pain living on a main road, you know. It really is. Luckily, in the Kerbal Space Center, we don't really have to worry about that kind of thing. The loud sounds of the rockets just launching in the background. You can imagine engineers, we're going to have to restage this. You can imagine engineers just designing rockets. And like me, just occasionally going, "Thank you, rocket," not like I was working or anything. Okay, we'll have to remember to move the boosters down to be the first things to drop off. Is this really not dropped off yet? There's something wrong here. Yeah, there's something majorly wrong. Are they still burning? Oh, but they are shared capacity. Interesting. This isn't quite how I envisioned it, but this actually may be better. I thought all the fuel used by these in unison was going to be taken up by this. We're also not getting into orbit apparently, we're just going straight up. This means we're going to have a massive reduction in thrust, but also a massive reduction in mass at the same time. Well, we shall see how it works out in 3. Oh, that's dropped. Oh wow, did you see that flex there? Crikey. 3. There. Ooh. Oh, we took out the main engine. Oh, the rotation. Still, I think this is very promising. And it's also certainly got the longevity required. Yeah, you know what, I'm going to leave it at that, actually. Let's refine the design a bit, change the staging around like we said, but otherwise I think we have a launch stage. Next comes payload testing, where we will load up 100 tons. Alright, by refine of course I mean add struts. What else? Struts there, struts everywhere, struts of the beauty, the wondrous existence. Okay, so that will drop slightly before this, which means we'd like to have some reinforcement between them. Probably one strut will do it, actually. Now we'll have another one higher up. There to there. Let's put some nose cones on these, just because we might as well. Okay, looking good. Anywhere else we need struts? No, I don't think so. I think we're okay, actually. Well, we might... No, we'll leave it. We'll leave it. Okay, we're happy with the fuel drain. Pretty much we are happy with the fuel drain, so it's just boosters come first. Then that, followed shortly by that, after a long time. Oh yeah, that'll be removed anyway, so that's fine. And then that. What are we going to do about the rotation? I think with Advanced SAS we may be able to just torque our way out, but otherwise we'll end up adding reaction wheels to give us that required torque. Okay, save, and payloading. Time for payloading. And we'll also put this into a subassembly. Just take that. Take a copy, and subassembly drop zone. Name, SLS, oh no, it's Spacier Launch System 3. A conversion from 2 meter to 3 meter parts. We don't need anything particularly imaginative for a description, it's fine. Right, we want a payload of 100 tons to begin with, and see if we can take that into orbit. So let's get rid of all this. Command pod weighs roughly 4 tons. Parachute, we probably don't, no, forget the parachute. Roughly 4 tons for a command pod. Let's slap on... Or should we just... Yeah, you know, actually, get rid of that. We'll just use a probe. And we shall do this entirely with fuel. So 100 tons. What is worth 100 tons of fuel? That's 82. 41. Okay, well, we can probably do something like... That's 40... That's 80. And now we need 20 tons of fuel. And we can probably get that from one of those. Yeah, there we go. That'll work. Like that. And we'll make it up a bit more by adding adapters. And... I don't know, some sort of nose cone? No? Okay, no. There we go. That's about 100 tons of mass. It should easily be able to get that into orbit. Come on! Who do you think we are? Who do you think I am? Not the right accents, but whatever. There we have it. And we'll put Advanced SAS on this, as there will undoubtedly be on the craft. And we'll also probably want some energy generation. Okay, whatever it is, it's roughly 100 tons. Oh no, that's fine. Roughly 100 tons. Now we'll add some strutting in order to make sure it doesn't wobble about too much. Got to keep our payload nice and secure. Something that Amazon don't really think about, evidently. And bring it back down to the ground. There we go. Everything fires, boosters, those. Hey? Oh. There, yes. That's how it was. Okay. A 100-ton payload. We won't save, we'll just launch. And this will probably be the last part of the video. We'll see how well it can get 100 tons into orbit, and from that we shall be able to determine how much of a chance it has of getting something much heavier into orbit. You never know, it might not even work at all with 100 tons. That is the constant fear. And will it break? No! How is it not broken? This engine is incredible. Alright, time warp. Come on, give us daylight. That's all we want. Thank you. It's rock steady as well. Beautiful. Sheerly beautiful. Launching in 3, 2, 1, liftoff. Okay, so preliminary test. Acceleration. The acceleration is fantastic. That is more than enough acceleration. So even if it's only lifting a 100-ton payload craft, it's still plenty of acceleration. Just from this, I'd predict we'd be able to lift at least twice as much to orbit. But we shall see. Bearing in mind we don't have any reaction wheels, which means our control authority isn't fantastic. But the mission is proceeding rather smoothly. So, in the last few minutes of the video, let's wrap up. We have successfully designed a new launch stage, or have we? That is what this final test will determine. And I sincerely hope you enjoyed watching it. If you would like to hire this voice for your game or project, you can contact me at HOCgaming@live.co.uk or talk to me via Twitter at HOCgamer. And I'd also like to briefly remind you about the Kerbal Polar Expedition. I posted an announcement video, we can drop those boosters, I posted an announcement video a few days before the upload of this video. I shall put an annotation to that on screen right about now. I'd very much appreciate it if after watching this video you'll go click that link or click the link that's also in the description and find out about my charity live stream that's going to be happening from August 6th to August 10th. I really need to be turning over. And I'm trying to. But it's not working. Where's my gimbal? Why isn't my gimbal functioning? Oh, I'm turning north. That'll be why. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. I may have royally ruined this. Oh. Well, it wasn't entirely a failure. But it was pretty close. I guess we'll have to see in a later video exactly whether this can perform or not, because I have run out of time. Thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you all in that next video. It's kind of mesmerizing just watching this. I would have that as a screensaver.